A few weeks ago, I received a tip from a close friend in the industry regarding Malibal, a company specializing in Windows and Linux laptops. So I visited their website, malibal.com, just to see what all the fuss was about, and at first glance I was pleasantly surprised. I'll be honest, these devices boasted premium-looking displays, modern silicon, and often beefy, discrete GPUs. I'm surprised I haven't heard of them before. So what seems to be the problem? Well, for starters, consider their Aeon S1. Starting price somewhere around 1700-ish USD, not unheard of for a premium laptop, but it better have the specs to back it up. Only I immediately noticed that this price was for a stripped-down, bare-bones 13th gen Intel Core i5 build, sporting only a single 8GB stick of DDR5, integrated graphics, and a 500GB SSD. Yeah, like I said, stripped down. For comparison's sake, an Asus VivoBook with an identical CPU, identical RAM, identical storage, and similar screen-to-body ratio sells brand new for roughly 500 USD. That's $500 versus over $1,500. Sure, you can make the case that Malibal's models feature much higher resolution displays, which appears to be their strong suit, but you can't tell me that it rationalizes more than tripling of the price for an otherwise comparable spec. These prices are completely out of whack, so much so that if we decided to spec the Aeon S1 to the max, which bumps the CPU to a 13th gen Intel Core i9, RAM to 64 gigs, storage to 12 terabytes, and GPU to an RTX 3050, the subtotal works out to over $6,000. They're asking over $2,000 for an 8 terabyte Sabrent M.2 alone and another $1,000 for an additional 4 terabytes. Is he importing these from Mars? Are they integrated, requiring special tooling made out of solid gold? I mean, this is Apple level upcharging, right?
But so what, Greg? What's the big whoop? These laptops are expensive. Who cares? No one needs to buy them. Why are you picking on a small business like your own?
It's not just the prices. There are plenty of companies out there overcharging for things. It's the reported service and unprofessionalism that, in my opinion, has killed this company's reputation. It's posts like this one from D2 Ultima on the LTT forum describing Malibal as the, quote, worst place to buy from. They have censored negativity on the notebook review forums in the past and banned users from their website who have good warranties still, and attacked people for not basically praising them left and right. Yeah, Okay, so that's one account, anecdotal. You can't win them all, right? Only it gets much, much worse. There are entire subreddits dedicated to the horrible treatment by Malibal staff of their own customers. And it's apparently become so commonplace that the company dedicated a portion of their website to address bannable offenses and the voiding of warranties. Could you imagine the likes of Asus or Razer or even Apple spelling out on their own websites reasons why you could be banned from ever purchasing their laptops again? Like actual bannable offenses listed verbatim on the website. It's just kind of jarring. Like, what on earth is going on here? A lot. And we're gonna dive a lot deeper than this, don't worry. I hope you'll stay with me. Antec Nova fans include 3-phase PWM controllers and 6-pole drive motors for optimal performance and quiet operation. They're also ultra sleek and ship in either white or black, boasting recessed edges and vibration pads along all 4 corners, front and rear. And check out this ultra minimal blade clearance, promoting static pressure and reduced backflow. Plug and play, daisy chain away, and enjoy a premium PC fan at a not so premium price. You can learn more about Antec Nova fans by clicking the link below. I want to kick things off with this very interesting post from John E. Diamonds, who reported extreme difficulties working with Malibal. We declined their business after some time because they were too difficult to work with, not just on the logistical end, but we faced a very similar attitude, ridicule, and harsh statements on a frequent basis, enough that we decided it wasn't worth it anymore. I was also called a zombie at some point. Okay, well, we'll get to the ridicule and zombie stuff in a minute, but I'd first like to discuss logistics. So John implies the company was difficult to work with logistically, meaning he was likely frustrated with Malibal's ability to ship product on time, and that's something that many others have mentioned on sites like Reddit as well. I ordered a laptop from Malibal, they never shipped it, I asked for a refund, and they canceled my order and blocked me, but didn't refund me. They're just common thieves, don't make the mistake of giving them any money. Wow. If this company is canceling orders and not refunding money, assuming shipping took considerably longer than expected, but even if it didn't, even if folks just had a change of heart before the product shipped, or maybe right after it shipped, but you have a return policy, there is no excuse for that behavior. It should be spelled out in black and white, if it isn't already, how long a product is expected to ship. This is basic stuff, and barring any act of God, weather, earthquake, or I don't know, world war or something, you wouldn't expect a laptop like this to take several weeks, if not months, to ship incoming negative reviews. But here's the thing, this is the catch here. Malibal's negative reviews don't really seem to care much about logistics alone. In fact, a vast majority of reported complaints from customers seem to center on attitude and behaviors around warranties, bans, and name calling. Had the same experience. Site said it would ship 5 to 7 business days. Instead, it was delayed by over 2 to 3 months. Stop there. Okay, no big deal. Get your money back. If it is a big deal, maybe you bought something else in the meantime. It's not the end of the world. It's manageable. Just ask for your money back. Their excuse was the shipment from Taiwan was damaged, for which they gave no updates 3 weeks into my order and did not apologize. Regardless, I needed a laptop for a business trip, so I requested an order cancellation. Okay, reasonable so far. Their support proceeded to be rude and hostile, banning me for life from purchasing their products. Okay, same experience 100%, avoid Malibal at all costs. Based on my mind-blowing experience with their so-called customer support, I would prefer to be punched in the face versus having to deal with this kind of business ever again. Clearly the same awful guy behind my support experience plus all the others reported here. For me, after literally starting the support response thread by asking me, "Are you being haunted by a witch maybe?" they proceeded to insist that my hardware issue couldn't possibly be true because, quote, "in 2 years, we've never had someone report an issue like the one you're describing," end quote. The details further down are even more damning. Another customer messaged support about their advertised 30-day money-back guarantee after they received the laptop and were disappointed with its quality considering the money spent. Okay, if you're spending, $3,000, $4,000, assuming you're getting a discount or something, you probably earn the right to be a little bit picky with regards to build quality. According to them, the reply they received from Malibal was, "So you bought it so you could abuse the return policy. We're going to get rid of the 30-day return policy in your honor and put your name on our site as to why it's no longer available." I'm sorry, what? When I read this account, I immediately ran to the site and did a bit of digging, or as much as I could without getting creepy. Malibal is based out of Las Vegas, Nevada. Public records, Malibal LLC, owned by Matthew P. Corporate offices located on Flamingo Road, actually. I didn't see any mention of additional members or agents in the most recent filings, so now I'm starting to wonder if this entire company is being run by a single person. I mean, surely if the owner was aware of the responses this customer support rep was giving, they'd be fired on the spot. So either A, the owner is completely oblivious to the internet, emails, and his own employees, or B, he's aware of it and complicit in it, or C, he's the one responding himself. I put this to the test with a pseudonym Gmail account. I'm not worried about the owner or employees finding out who I am. It's not a big deal. It's just kind of a junk email. But I didn't want any online influence I had to impact the response I received. So I asked about their 30-day return window because that seemed to spark some anger in them before. And yes, it still exists despite the email that we read from the previous customer. Their response, unquestionably tame. "Hi, Philip, that's never really an issue. You just have to put things like that in your terms because otherwise someone will try to return the laptop in a garbage bag. But if the shipping box really is unusable, we might deduct $30 for it." I won't bother reading the last part because it's stickied into literally every reply they send, but I'll be honest, the message was pretty chill, and they've actually got a point. If you don't specify, you'll end up regretting it as a small business, so it always is good to have things like this in writing should a product actually be sent in a garbage bag. I don't blame them there. So maybe their infamous customer support rep left the company, if one existed, or maybe it was the owner all along and he's had a change of heart, difficult to judge from a single email exchange, but I am a bit relieved I wasn't also called a zombie. Speaking of zombies, why does this word keep coming up? Are people really being called zombies? Yes, actually, they are. As silly as it sounds, there are actual accounts of this. Even worse, the official Malibal website seems to corroborate this in some sort of way with an article titled "Stay Away from Malibal." And I'm not joking when I say this, the company doesn't, again, necessarily deny the accusation. Instead, they seem to juxtapose their, quote, darkest hour with the brand with which they suspect the customer left a scathing review, that being Apple. So maybe this person left a review on an Apple device, that's what they're assuming. Malibal literally compares their company's reputation to that of Apple's by listing a plethora of, quote, crimes against humanity and systemic exploitation, 100 of them. It's literally 1 through 99, 1 through 100, followed by their own conveniently singular breach of customer service protocol, where they mention a Malibal employee allegedly responding to verbal abuse by utilizing undead-related terminology. I cannot believe they're serious. I mean, I'm not gonna jump to Apple's defense. Most big companies do really, really shady stuff, so this isn't a defense of Apple. The fact that somebody, somewhere, was willing to at least entertain The idea of buying a laptop from you, a brand that I had never heard of at this point. I do this for a living. I work with tech 24/7. I had never heard of Malibal. I'm kind of glad I hadn't until now, frankly, based on what I've been reading. It's so sad to see companies treat potential customers, former customers this way. It's inexcusable. The fact that they are willing to completely sidestep the allegation and instead just throw a bunch of other unrelated crap your way.
Well, even if we did do this, that's okay because this other company employs sweatshops.
What kind of off the cuff response is that? It's so bizarre. Could you imagine in a court of law, somebody, I don't know, sues them for something and they're like, well, I mean, yeah, you say we maybe did this one thing, but have you looked at Apple and how bad they can be? And thus, as Apple pushes the boundaries of what's possible in defrauding customers, spying on them, abusing their data, exploiting children, driving workers to S, destroying small businesses, devastating the environment, and committing other various crimes against humanity, we at Malibal face our darkest hour, Zombiegate. Our commitment to tirelessly support our customers, zombie, ghost, or otherwise, while maintaining a level of integrity befitting the smallest scandal possible. After all, the abyss awaits us all. But here at Malibal, we'll send you there with a smile. What the f did I just read? Did I read that correctly? This is beyond delusional, in my opinion. And now I'm starting to think the owner is the one leaving these gross replies. I mean, how on earth is an article sanctioned like this otherwise? How do you approve something like this as an owner? Did you just not know what's going up on your site? It's literally plastered under the features tab of Malibal.com. It's front and center. They want their customers to see this, and they've gone so far as to share it across social media platforms like X. Someone called for a total boycott of our company over an email exchange. Meanwhile, they probably wrote that on a device made with actual forced labor, a commentary on internet outrage culture, moral inconsistency, and why perspective is dead online. You know, it's funny. If perspective really is dead online, then why on earth are you bothering to share your own perspective online? It's unbelievably laughable that a company like this is as bullheadedly stubborn as they are, despite its rather apparent effect on business for them. Trust me, if berating customers and talking shit online garnered millions of supporters, everyone would be doing it, okay? We can't all be like D-Brand. Only in this case, it's clear someone high up in this Malibal food chain, whatever this concoction is, if it's one person or it's 10 people, who cares? Someone is unfit somewhere. That much is clear. Not sure what's going on upstairs, but why on earth would anyone do business with you if you openly treat so many people this way? It is a horrible look. You know, I had this whole spiel written regarding them seemingly throwing Apple under the bus in an effort to protect themselves in light of this very mild controversy. What I will say is that Malibal, I can almost guarantee you, cannot account for what is being done on the manufacturing side, the components that they are sourcing from Taiwan or wherever. They cannot account for. They can account for how they're being made. They can't account for the bosses and how the employees are being treated, what they're being paid. They probably don't care. So I wouldn't go so far as to just throw Apple out there as the only one guilty of this. Like I said, a lot of big companies do it. You cannot say for certain that your suppliers aren't doing it either. That's just disingenuous. This is so petty. So what? You got a negative review. You got a few negative reviews. Are they because of you? Or are they because of your product? Or are they because of the customer? You can't blame the customer for them all. I'm sorry. You might internally, say, oh, that one negative review, that guy was a pain in the ass, whatever. Okay, you're gonna run into those from time to time. But if you are receiving negative review after negative review, something is wrong with you. Something is wrong with your product. How can you look at this and not want to fix it? Do you care at all about your company? Treat it like a human being. You have to nurture it. You have to raise it like it's your own child. Don't neglect it and don't scream at it. Don't abuse it and throw it, cast it aside for the sake of preserving your own ego. It's pretty extreme, the things that some of your customers, some of your potential customers have gone through, the feedback, the reviews, inexcusable. That said, I think there's always hope, maybe not totally rebranding your company and starting from scratch and learning from your mistakes, but if you'd like to even use our platform as a bit of outreach for an audience that I think overlaps quite a bit with mine to begin with, I'm open to that. We're gonna be in CES 2025, January, in Vegas, which is conveniently right next to your office, at least according to public docs. So if you'd like to meet with me personally, we don't have to have cameras involved. We could just chat. The fact that there are folks who apparently haven't been refunded money, or at least weren't refunded money at the time, maybe they issued credit chargebacks and things, I don't know. That stuff is that needs to be rectified now. That should not be happening today. But the response is, oh, fire the email guy, whoever that is. If that's you, fire yourself, start from scratch, become a new man, get baptized, I don't care, whatever you gotta do. But the attitude thing is just killing your reputation. And it shows. I mean, look at how many just subreddits there are alone of people's experiences, firsthand accounts. I don't want to just end on a super negative note. Totally off the cuff, off script, but wanted to extend that offer. I might get ridiculed for that in my own comment section. Why do you want to work with somebody like that, Greg? Look, we've all made mistakes. These are pretty big mistakes here, yeah, but I wouldn't just want to completely write that guy off without giving him a second chance, or at least a chance to explain himself. I feel like that would be probably helpful in this situation, considering how extreme things have gotten. That's all for this one. Consider leaving a like, subscribing, leaving a comment down below, and sticking around for the next one. My name is Greg. Whew. I need to take a walk after this one. Thanks for learning with me.